5 a.m.
No,
5 a.m.
absolutely not.
I know, but hear me out.
Charon, it is 5 in the morning.
I know what time it is. I've been awake since 4:30.
Why?
I wanted to try it. The whole wake up early, change your life thing.
And?
Day 1, I was exhausted and miserable, and I spilled coffee on my keyboard.
A strong start.
Day 3, something shifted. I finished more before 9 a.m. than I usually finish by noon.
Interesting.
Day 7, I started to understand why people talk about this.
And now?
Now I wake up at 6, not 5, 6, because I am a human being, not a farmer.
There it is.
But I wake up before the world arrives, before the noise, before the demands. And those hours, just those, change something.
Today, we are exploring why.
Not to tell you to wake up at 5,
Definitely not.
but to understand what successful people are actually doing with their mornings and what the science says about it.
And to give you the English to talk about all of it.
Welcome to English the Natural Way.
I'm Sulafat.
And I'm Charon, and today we're going into a topic that generates more debate, more strong opinions, more passionate disagreement than almost any other lifestyle topic.
Early rising, morning routines. Whether waking up at 5 a.m. will change your life.
Let's go. Section 1. The argument for waking up early. Charon, first, the case. Why do so many successful people swear by early mornings?
And there are a lot of them.
Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, reportedly up at 3:45 a.m.
Oprah Winfrey, up before the sun.
Michelle Obama, early morning workouts before anyone else was awake.
The list goes on.
And the argument they all make, in one form or another, is the same.
The early morning hours belong to you.
Before the emails arrive, before the meetings start, before anyone needs anything from you.
It is the only guaranteed quiet time in a busy day.
And in those quiet hours, you can do the things that matter, that require focus, that require you.
Not reaction, creation.
Not response, intention.
The research supports this to a degree.
Studies suggest that willpower and decision-making are strongest in the early part of the day, before decision fatigue sets in.
Decision fatigue, the mental exhaustion that comes from making too many decisions, which gets worse as the day goes on.
So doing your most important work first, when your brain is freshest, makes logical sense.
And early mornings before the world arrives are the natural window for that.
That is the argument, and it's a compelling one. Subscribe to English the Natural Way for the conversations worth having. Section 2. The vocabulary of success habits and morning routines. Charon, let's build the vocabulary because this topic, success, habits, routines, has rich natural English.
For describing early rising,
I'm an early riser, someone who naturally or deliberately wakes up early.
I beat the alarm most days. Wake up before it goes off, a sign of consistent sleep rhythm.
I'm up with the sun, poetic, waking at sunrise.
I start my day before anyone else is awake. The key phrase, the quiet advantage.
I'm a morning person through and through, completely naturally a morning person.
For describing what people do with early mornings,
I use that time for deep work, focused, uninterrupted work.
I protect my mornings fiercely. Guard them. Don't allow meetings or distractions.
I front-load my day with the things that matter most, do the most important things first.
Front load. Put the most important things at the beginning.
I've built a morning ritual that grounds me, a set sequence that centers you.
I give myself time to think before the world thinks at me. Beautiful. The difference between proactive and reactive.
For the effect,
I feel ahead of the day rather than behind it.
those first hours set the tone for everything that follows.
I get more done before 9 than most people do all morning.
There's a stillness in the early hours that I can't replicate at any other time.
Stillness, the quality of being quiet, calm, undisturbed.
I feel like I've earned the day before it's even begun.
Now, the other side, because this is an honest conversation.
Not everyone is a morning person, and the science is more nuanced than the 5 a.m. club would have you believe.
Chronotypes.
Chronotypes. Your biological sleep preference. Whether you naturally function better in the morning or evening.
And chronotypes are largely genetic, not a character flaw, not laziness.
The research is clear. Forcing a night owl to wake at 5 a.m. does not give them the same benefits as a natural early riser.
In fact, it may do the opposite.
Sleep deprivation is one of the most damaging things you can do to productivity, creativity, and health.
And if waking at 5 means sleeping 6 hours instead of 8,
You have lost more than you gained.
natural language for this side of the conversation?
I'm not wired for early mornings, and I've stopped fighting it.
I do my best work late at night, always have.
I've made peace with being a night owl.
Forcing myself up early just means I'm tired all day.
The research on chronotypes suggests it's biological, not a discipline issue.
My most creative hours are between 10 p.m. and midnight, and I've built my life around that.
I protect my late evenings the same way morning people protect their early hours.
These phrases show self-knowledge, which is more valuable than any particular wake-up time.
Section 4. 5 real conversations about morning habits and success.
Situation 1. Colleague mentions they've started waking up at 5.
I've been getting up at 5 for the past month. It's been incredible. I can't believe I didn't do this sooner.
That's impressive. I've been curious about that. What are you actually doing with those early hours? I think that's where I'd struggle. I could probably wake up earlier if I knew what I was getting up for. Do you have a set routine, or is it more flexible?
What made that work?
Genuine curiosity. Not dismissal, not false enthusiasm. Honest self-reflection, where I'd struggle. The key question, what are you actually doing? And a follow-up that shows real interest.
What are you actually doing with those hours? That's the question that matters.
Because waking up without intention is just being tired earlier.
Situation 2. Someone asks, "Are you a morning person?"
Natural answer for a morning person?
I've become one. I wasn't always. I used to sleep until the last possible moment and start the day in a rush. Something shifted about 2 years ago when I started protecting my mornings. I get up early enough to have an hour before the world arrives. No phone, nothing external, just coffee and thinking and whatever I want to work on. It's changed how the whole day feels. I feel like I'm driving the day rather than being dragged by it.
Natural answer for a night owl?
Honestly, no. I've tried and I just function better in the evening. My brain wakes up around 10 and doesn't really peak until afternoon. I've stopped fighting my chronotype. I protect my evenings the same way morning people protect their mornings. It took me a while to stop feeling guilty about it. There's so much noise about 5 a.m. being the secret to success. But the research suggests your chronotype is largely biological. I get my best work done between 8 and 11 at night, and I've designed my life around that.
What made both answers strong?
Both showed self-knowledge. Both named a specific discovery. Both connected to a principle, and neither was defensive.
The night owl answer especially, I've stopped fighting my chronotype, shows maturity, not excuses, just honest self-knowledge.
Situation 3. Job interview. How do you manage your energy and focus throughout the day?
Natural answer?
I've become quite intentional about this over the years. I'm naturally a morning person, so I protect my early hours for the work that requires the most focus and creativity. Deep work, essentially. I try not to schedule meetings or administrative tasks before 11 if I can help it. As the day goes on, I'm better suited to collaborative things, discussions, calls, reviews. I'm also honest about the point in the afternoon where my focus drops, and I try not to schedule anything that requires sharp thinking after about 3. Understanding your own energy curve and designing your day around it rather than fighting it has made a significant difference to my output.
What worked?
Self-aware and specific. Honest about being a morning person without being evangelical. Specific about what he protects morning hours for. Honest about the afternoon dip, everyone has one. And the sophisticated close. Designing your day around your energy curve rather than fighting it.
Energy curve, that phrase, your natural rise and fall of energy and focus through the day.
Knowing yours and designing your day around it, that's the real productivity insight.
Not 5 a.m. Understanding yourself.
Situation 4. Friend who says, I wish I could be a morning person. I've tried, but I just can't.
Natural response.
I think the key question is, what would you actually do with the morning if you had it? Because just waking up earlier without a clear reason doesn't tend to stick. When I started, I woke up early and just sat there, wondering why I'd done it. What changed for me was having something I genuinely wanted to do with that time. Something for me, not for work, not for anyone else. Once I had that, the early alarm felt less like punishment and more like getting there first.
What made that beautiful?
The reframe, not about discipline, about having a reason. Honest about his own false start, sat there wondering why. The powerful close, getting there first. That phrase captures exactly what early mornings feel like when they're working.
Getting there first, before the day claims you.
Before the emails, before the messages, before anyone needs anything.
Situation 5. Reflecting with a mentor or older colleague.
They ask, what's the best habit you've built in the last few years?
Natural answer.
Probably protecting my mornings. It sounds simple, but it took me a long time to take it seriously. I used to think the morning was just the beginning of the day, the thing before the real thing started. Now I think of it as the most valuable real estate in my day. The hour before the world arrives, where I get to decide what I think about, what I work on, who I want to be that day, before anything external comes in and starts making decisions for me. It's changed how I experience the whole day. I feel like I own my day rather than just surviving it.
Owning your day versus surviving it.
That's the whole conversation in 4 words.
Section 5. What the science actually says.
Let's be honest about what the research shows, because this is a nuanced topic.
Natural phrases for discussing research and evidence. The research suggests, but it's more nuanced than that.
Studies show, though the full picture is more complicated.
There's evidence that, but it depends on.
The science supports, to a point.
What the science actually shows, rather than what people claim it shows, is.
Now, what does it actually show?
Early mornings do offer real advantages for people who are naturally morning-oriented. The pre-work quiet time creates genuine focus windows. Decision fatigue is real, and doing important work early helps.
But chronotypes are largely biological. Sleep quality and quantity matter more than timing, and a well-rested night owl outperforms an exhausted early riser.
The real insight is not wake up at 5.
The real insight is understand your own energy and design your day around it.
Protect whatever window gives you the most focused, uninterrupted time.
For some people, that's 5 a.m. For others, midnight.
Both can work. Neither is morally superior.
What matters is intention. What matters is protecting the time.
Whenever it is. Section 6. Talking about success and what it actually takes. The final level.
because this conversation is really about something bigger than wake-up times.
It's about what success actually requires.
And the honest answer is less glamorous than most people expect.
Phrases for talking about what success actually takes.
What I've come to believe is that consistency beats talent almost every time.
The successful people I admire are not necessarily the most gifted, they're the most deliberate.
What separates people isn't usually what they know, it's what they do consistently.
The unsexy truth about success is that it's mostly just showing up, every day for years.
I think success is less about big moments and more about tiny daily decisions that nobody sees.
The compound effect is real. Small, consistent actions over years create outcomes that look like overnight success from the outside.
I've stopped looking for the single thing that'll change everything and started trusting the accumulation of small right things.
That last one, stopped looking for the single thing, started trusting the accumulation.
That's maturity about success.
Because there isn't a single thing.
There never was.
There is just the small right thing, done again and again and again.
Early or late, morning or night.
Just consistently.
Quick review. Everything in one place.
Let's bring it all home.
Use specific vocabulary. Early riser. Beat the alarm. Front load your day. Protect your mornings fiercely. Deep work. Still hours. Decision fatigue. Chronotype. Energy curve. Real estate of the day.
Use specific vocabulary. Early riser. Beat the alarm. Front load your day. Protect your mornings fiercely. Deep work. Still hours. Decision fatigue. Chronotype. Energy curve. Real estate of the day.
Use natural phrases for nuanced discussion. The research suggests, but it's more nuanced. What the science actually shows, it depends on.
Connect to the bigger picture. Consistency beats talent. Small right things accumulated. Showing up every day for years.
And don't be evangelical about your own routine.
What works for you, works for you.
Share it, don't prescribe it.
Final message. Your challenge today.
Before you go, think about your own energy curve.
Not what you're supposed to be. Not what successful people do.
When do you feel most focused, most creative, most yourself?
Morning, afternoon, late evening.
And then, think about whether your day is designed around that window or against it.
Come to the comments. Tell us, are you a morning person, a night owl, or somewhere in between?
And what do you protect that time for?
We read every comment. We reply to every one.
If this episode helped you today,
Hit subscribe. Hit the bell.
next week, how to talk about travel experiences in natural English.
Not just where you went, but what it did to you. How it changed you.
Because the best travel stories are never really about the place.
I'm Sulafat.
I'm Sharon.
Keep going.
Keep growing. And tomorrow morning,
Whatever time you wake up.
make it yours.